Greetings, everyone. This is me again, Zahra, ex-Muslim, ex-Shia. Come to help the Muslims see for themselves as usual and then decide. Now, again, on this, Imam Hussain contradicts Quran ayats on the 9th of Muharram. Last time, in my previous live streams, many problems, this would go automatically without my ending the live stream. Many times this has happened, and now I have to be really careful, right? That this doesn't happen again. And then resuming the live stream, how many times I had to do this? Oh, so in one of my previous live streams and all whatnot problems. So I have to be wary about this also. And so it's difficult, all the obstacles in my way. Prove Imam Hussain contradicted Quran ayats on the 9th of Muharram. And also the Quran ayats, there are so many contradictions and problems, right? So please bear with me because it gets difficult on this. Um, Imam Hussain being the third Imam of the Shia 12ers and also an Imam of the Ismailis and Bori Shias and all. He should not have asked his followers to leave him. So on the 9th of Muharram, and absolving them of any obligation towards him, towards Imam Hussain, and this is reported by his son, Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein, after him, the Imam after him, and I call him Zain al-Abidin or Imam Sajjad, right? So this is the son that reports what Imam Hussain did, gathering his followers after Omar ibn Saad returned to his camp. I don't think that the Shias can they say that this is a wrong, this is an interpolation, right, in the narrations and all of Karbala. Because it is reported by the next Imam, Imam Hussein's son. So gathering his followers and saying all this. So what, I've reached, I won't be able to go through all this again right now in this live stream, maybe later, and I should, but due to all the problems, and I'm worried that this will end my live stream suddenly. I wouldn't realize it, so I have to keep my eye on this. So it disappears, and then I have to resume it. And all. This also I have to do while reading the ayats. And now they're very confusing ayats. If you take, for example, Surah 9, ayat 43 and Surah 9, ayat 91, we can see what the Shia tafsir is, that Allah has pardoned you, Surah 9, ayat 43, that Allah is talking, referring to the Sahabas of Prophet Muhammad. Allah pardon them. But who gives them permission? Prophet Muhammad giving them permission to remain behind. You should not have, they should not have, until it was evident to you who were truthful and you knew the liars. Now, only Prophet Muhammad is allowed to give permission, not the Sahabas. So, this also, there's a ayat about that. Him in Surah 24 ayat. Number I have forgotten the ayat's number. Only Prophet Muhammad can give permission. And in what circumstances? So now we are told that maybe the Shias think that, since the liars, the truthful and the liars have were distinguished and that they were known to all who were the truthful, who were on Yazid's side and who were on Hussein's side, and who would fight until the end to protect the religion and the leader of the religion then in Karbala, right? So, since that was established completely, who were sincere believers, then Imam Hussain could allow them to leave and absolve any obligation towards him. But that's not true. See, there are Quran ayats which contradict to that, and these Quran ayats, Surah 9, ayat 43. However, Allah said, pardon you. How could you give them leave? But then until it was evident to you who were truthful and you knew the liars. So Shias believing that until it becomes evident, then give them leave, give them permission to remain behind and not helping or even whatever. They don't have to participate fighting or doing jihad against the disbelievers, hypocrites, and all this. That is not true because other ayats go against that in the Quran. Remember Surah 9, ayat 120 and more. Some will come here in my notes, and I will show you here. You're contradicting Surah 9, ayat 43, even though until it becomes evident to the Prophet or the Imams thereafter for the Shias uh, or the Caliphs, who were truthful and who were the liars. Surah 9, ayat 91, there is no blame on the weak, nor on the Caliphs, meaning the Sunnis idea, who took Caliphs. Appointed, elected, and all, they also believe in this different way, not appointed by Allah. The Shias believe that by now you should know this, that the Shias believe that Imam Ali was appointed by Allah as an Imam. And the Caliphate was, it was like no more in the picture. Now the Imamat was in the picture after Prophet Muhammad's death. So Surah 9, Ayat 91, here is, I think, where I left off in my previous live stream. So I didn't feel like resuming again. I just left it then. I came back and I said, okay, I have to go now, and resuming the live stream. And then I went away, ending the live stream. Again and again, it was being cut, ending automatically my live stream. I don't know why this was happening. Hope this doesn't happen again today for my live stream. Surah 9, Ayat 91. There is no blame on the weak, nor on the sick, nor on those who have nothing to enable them to join, meaning the struggle in the way of Allah, jihad or fighting, if they stay behind, provided that they are sincere to Allah and to His Messenger. There is no cause for reproach against those who do good. Allah is all forgiving, ever merciful. So now to understand this ayat 2, Surah 9, ayat 91, paying close attention to this part, if they stay, there is no cause for reproach against those who do good. So Shias, understand what your tafsir says on this, right? But Shia tafsir is quite short on this, not explaining in detail. So I had to go to the Sunni tafsir on this, Surah 9, ayat 91. The gist is that as long as they, of course, the blame is on those who are not good when they stay away, rejoicing, that thank God, I felt sick and I don't have to join in the jihad struggle or fight, battle with the messenger and all this, or the leader at that time, Muslim leader. So the blame is on them, right? But the blame is on not those, no blame, no reproach against those who do good. Meaning, reproach here means blame, right? There is no cause for reproach or complaint against those who do good. It doesn't mean those doing good, if they are weak, or, be exempted from war after having found, so Surah 9 ayat 43 also with Surah 9 ayat 91, after, I mean, it becomes evident that Allah has proved it. Allah has proved it. It has become evident that they are the truthful and who are the liars. Although here it says you knew the liars. So later on, Allah makes it evident. Allah makes evident those who are truthful, right? In every era. Taking Surah 9, Ayat 43, this part. You got it? So once, like the Shias would say, once it has been evident that these are the true followers of Imam Hussain and thus Prophet Muhammad, and in Islam they are the true believers, nothing. So they can be exempt from war, and they are good. So if no complaint against those who are good. So only here it doesn't mean those who are good and sincere that they should be exempted. See, here in Surah 9 at 91, but if they are weak or sick or those who have nothing to enable them to join in the struggle in in the way of Allah, meaning they are poor, they don't have enough funds, right, to join. So if they remain behind, provided they are sincere to Allah and His Messenger, also they can remain behind the weak, the sick. Only Imam Zain al Abidin, Imam Ali ibn al Hussein, could not participate because he was unwell. He was not well in Karbala. He was there also with his father, and at that time, Imam Hussein was the Imam in Karbala. So this and how Imam Hussein was taken to Karbala is another thing. You have to read the whole history on that, right? And he ended up in Karbala, and they had a holy war, a war of like religious war in Karbala. So these two ayats don't mean that the ones who are well should remain behind, right? Or even where until it was evident to you, they're given the permission to remain behind. Although this ayat says this, Surah 9 ayat 43, what does it go against? And Surah 9 ayat 91 is that those who are sick doesn't mean those who are good. Okay, you found the sincere. So these two ayats I was having problems, right? But I could see that there are ayats contradicting this. So just because what Imam Hussain has said, that now, you are the truthful, you are faithful to me, and Muslim to Muslim ibn Aqil or Aqil's sons, you've suffered enough martyrdom, and so you can leave me. They only want to capture me, but you are the leader. And then Surah Fatah, the 9 comes in, Surah Fatah 10 comes in, the helping Prophet Muhammad. So this is what Saeed was saying, Imam Hussein's follower at that time. How can we leave? And, how can we answer to Allah? Because we have to honor Rasulullah. By honoring you and helping you when you are in trouble, how can we leave you? We have given a pledge of allegiance to Allah for this through Prophet Muhammad, and to also honor him, not to forget Surah Fatah 9 before the Surah Fatah 10, right? So it was not proper for the people of Medina, those surrounding them, of the Bedouins, that they remain behind after the Messenger of Allah, or that they prefer themselves over himself. Now you see what is added here. You're not even supposed to prefer yourself over Prophet Muhammad's self, the Messenger of Allah's self. So you've got to fight Surah 9 at 120 if his life is in danger or something, or if he's being captured or pursued by the disbelievers or the hypocrites, so called Muslims they were. Even Yazid was saying he's a Muslim, and he's the caliph made by Muawiyah, his father. So they've snatched away the haqq, the rights of Allah, appointing Imam Ali as the prophet, as the Imam, right? As the Imam, sorry, leader of the Muslims. So they've snatched out that away, and then you have to see. So here is a very important part: preferring themselves over himself. The Medina, not people of Yathrib, Surah 9 at 120. People of Yathrib preferring themselves, and the Bedouins preferring themselves over the Prophet. Footnote from the Sunni in times of hardship about this, Surah 9 at 120. This part, in times of hardship. Rather, they should not desert the Prophet and rather they should have been willing to endure with the Prophet whatever was necessary for Islam. And Islam has not been established by Imam Hussain. You see, at the time, because the also notice that the caliphate is now on the hypocrite side, right? According to the Shias, caliphate and Imam Hussain, caliphate is on the hypocrite side. Yazid is now the caliph at the time of Imam Hussain, where Imam Hussain should be the Imam, and no one should take and say that, take away the caliphate and say that I'm a caliph, or his father making him a caliph, leader of Islam, like that, in authority. Again, what else is there? So on this, Surah 9, Ayat 120, I took the Shia commentary, Puya Ali commentary also. Again, the reference is that of the book, but the lesson is general. The Muslim must not hold their own interests or lives dearer than the Holy Prophet on this. See? Or even their lives dearer than the Holy Prophet. This is the way to save Islam, maybe. Whatever, you make out of what this implies. Nor desert him in the hour of danger. Now, the Shias themselves have commented on this ayat like this, interpreting it, this part, Surah 9, ayat 120. It was not proper for the people of Medina and those surrounding them of the Bedouins that they remain behind after the departure of the Messenger of Allah, or that they prefer themselves over his self. So this part is very important, whether the uh, evident, truthful from the liars, so who are fighting, even taking, Surah 3 ayat 67, 100, sorry, Surah 3 ayat 167, and that he might know the hypocrites. And it was said to them, come fight in Allah's way, or at least defend yourself, they said. So here, these are the hypocrites, right? Whom Allah has made evident in Surah 3 ayat 167, asking them to come and fight. But the believers have to fight in this case where they cannot prefer, where their leader is in trouble, being pursued, or will be captured, to prefer their lives over his life. So now you can't apply Surah 9 ayat 43 either on this day, Karbala, 9th Muharram, what Imam Hussain has said. Leave me, I absolve you of all our obligations. You have to apply Surah 9 ayat 120, this part, that they remain behind after the Messenger of Allah, or that they prefer themselves over his self. So this part would be good where? And even Shia Tafsir says the Muslims must not hold their own interests or lives dearer than the Holy Prophet. So after the Holy Prophet are the Imams. No desert him, no desert the Imam, whom they are appointed by Allah, right, as an Imam in the hour of danger after Prophet Muhammad. In the hour of danger. Now Imam Hussain is saying here, all praise. Imam Hussain said the following on the 9th of Muharram, gathering his followers. All praises and glory be to Allah, the Most High. I believe tomorrow will be our last day in this world. I absolve you of any obligation to me. You are free to leave. Use this cover of night to escape. Why do they have to use the cover of the night to escape? Because Imam Hassan then carries on saying, these people pursue only me. So they can leave, right? They don't have to use the cover of the night to escape. They are not captives right now of the Yazid's army. Anyways, this is illogical. Doesn't make sense here. But I'll use this cover of night to escape. These people pursue only me. They will pursue only me, right? And once they capture me, they will not pursue anyone else. Now the whole religion is in danger. according to Shia Islam. So fight fitna, fight until there is no more fitna, fight the disbelievers until religion is for Allah. Now, Caliph being Yazid, religion has become for whom? Tawhut, according to the Shia belief. No, no, this is like these people pursue only me, and once they capture me, they will not pursue anyone else, meaning you. Response of Hashimites. How is it possible, Hazrat Abbas? And the response is, but you see, Sayyid ibn Abdul Hanafi said, by Allah, we will never leave you until Allah knows that we protected the honor of Rasulullah. Taking what? Surah. But he's not saying this. They haven't put this. Sayyid is referring to Surah Fat, Ayat 9. Honor Rasulullah. Honor the Messenger of Allah. Help him. All this. So he's put honor here and not help. But be protected. Yeah, helping and protecting the honor. This means, how will Allah, forgive us for this? And by Allah, if I knew. Then he goes on to say, if I knew, killed, brought back, too emotional stuff. But you see, now I'm going Quran ayat by Quran ayat. Zuhair ibn Qayn said, by Allah, I would love that I be killed. These poor people are all confused or what? They're taking Surah, so looking at Surah 9, ayat 43, or even if you want to take Surah 9, ayat 91, they're good, let them go. Even if they're not sick, no blame on them. This part you interpret against those who do good. There's no complaint against those, or, against those who do good. Complain or blame, blame. So they are good. Imam Hussein's followers, you can, don't take it like this. You would be, you see, if you've taken it like this, Shias, you're wrong. This Surah 9, ayat 91 also. They're sincere to Allah. And even if they don't have these disabilities, weakness, there's no blame on the sick and the weak, however weak they are, or weak in number. But they were weak in number in Badr. Allah is telling them to fight Surah Anfal ayats and Surah Ali Imran ayats. So I looked at all the ayats and I can't give it to you here. But maybe there will be a little bit of online research here to show you my research. So please make sure that you don't go when you come to Surah 9, ayat 43 about Karbala Shia especially, and Surah 9, ayat 91. There's no reproach, there's no blame or complaint against those who do good. So they can be left behind by the permission of Prophet Muhammad. It has become evident who are the truthful and who have lied, meaning Surah 9, ayat 43, so they can be left. Leave me absolved. No, no, this is not taking these two ayahs. You see, Allah, what He's done here. Try to, I don't know how, also with His ayahs, please see this because the interpretations, then Quran ayahs are open to so many interpretations, and then you come and the Muslims, okay, you blame us or whatever, but please get the ayat properly. Get ayats properly. Now you see, don't go against Surah 9, ayat 120. Don't forget that when you come to Surah 9, ayat 43 and Surah 9, ayat 91, applying only these two ayats to what Imam Hussain has said to his followers in Karbala. Okay? And then what do we have in times of hardship? Rather, they should have been also like Surah Fat, ayat 9 and 10, and plus Surah 9, ayat 120, and disregarding Surah 9, ayat 43, and Surah 9, ayat 91. Leave that because there are many ayats which say you have to fight to protect the life of the leader, Prophet Muhammad at that time. This means the leader of the time, Muslim leader of his time. Again, the reference is that of the book, but the lesson is general. The Muslims must not, this Shia interpretation of this ayat, tafsir. Surah 9, ayat 120, this part I'm only reading, excuse me. I'm not reading the whole ayat. That is because they are not afflicted by thirst or fatigue or all this, right? and you're not even, and you're supposed to enrage them, the disbelievers, as believers. So all this, but right now the point is that's very difficult to. So I have to cut it short. The Muslim must not hold their own interests or lives dearer than the Holy Prophet, nor desert him in the hour of danger. Imam Hussain is at his hour of danger. Yazid, who has snatched away the caliphate, the imamat, and is not going to, he's not practicing the true religion, according to Imam Hussain, also, right? So his life is in danger, and moreover, what else have I given? So in 9 ayat 117, Allah has already forgiven the Prophet, the Muhajireens, and this, what is this? Party them almost inclined, followed him in the hour of difficulty after the hearts of a party of them had almost inclined, meaning to doubt. So Allah forgave them also for this, right? Since, okay, they asked for forgiveness and Surah Maududi's translation, do I need this now? Taba, Allah, turning to repentance. So, you know what the Shia say about this? Taba means to return penitently to Allah if it refers to man in the Quran ayat, who man, when he stops sinning, turns repentant to Allah and adopts piety, and it refers to Allah. And it refers to Allah when he admits the penitent to his mercy. So it's really funny. I found these ayats from the very beginning, understanding them properly in Arabic word, taking ta'aba, that Allah is turning repentant to the Prophet, towards the Muhajirin and the Ansar who stood by him, right? And then who stood by him in the hour of hardship. So they were in hardship, and Allah is turning repentant to the Prophet because he took them for the Battle of Tabuk, right? Expedition. And it was very hot and they suffered a lot. So Allah is turned in repentant. Mercy, they say mercy and grace or this and that. That's not right. Allah should not have written. This is a very poorly written Quran, right? Using tawbah for Allah in this way, and then you say the distorted. Allah, is changing the words meaning for himself, for the believers. What does this say? Allah has turned to in repentance. Tawbah. Tawbah means to turn penitently to Allah. If you take it, it refers to man when he stops sinning, turns repentant to Allah, and adopts piety. And it refers to Allah when he admits the penitent to his mercy. My goodness, what is this? So this long time ago, I did this, the Holy Prophet expedition of the book known as the Hour of Distress, followed the Muhajirs and Ansars who followed the Holy Prophet. Allah has admitted to his mercy. Them. No, no. Against, this is against Surah Tawbah, Ayat 120, that is because they are not afflicted by thirst or fatigue or hunger in the cause of Allah. Nor do they. So believers are supposed to do this, afflicted. Whatever thirst comes to you, fatigue comes to you, hunger in the cause of Allah, you're supposed to disregard it. You're supposed to go through these things, afflictions. Surah 9, Ayat 120. Since they don't, the people of Medina and the Bedouins don't take a step towards these afflictions in the cause of Allah, in the way of Allah, nor do they tread on any ground that enrages, meaning angers the disbelievers, nor do they inflict upon an enemy any infliction, but that it is. Oh, God, this part. Maybe this part was stolen or something from somewhere in times of hardship. So you're supposed to be thirsting, fatigue. Doesn't matter. Why does Allah have to turn and turn in mercy to, even if going with the Muslims about this ayat, Surah 9, no, wait. Yes, Surah 9 at 117, going with the Muslims, followed him in the hour. Allah turned to them in mercy that, they had suffered so much difficulty in the hour of difficulty. Prophet, the Muhajirin, and the Ansar. So this likewise, Ghaffara means to forgive, and it refers to sinners. But when it is used for the sinless or the innocent, it means to bestow more blessings and rewards. Shia tafsir about Ghaffar, the word. Under this ayat, though, but Ghaffar is perhaps used for now these party who had doubts now, swerving from the right course and following. But when they gave up swerving from the right course, then Allah is forgiving, Ghaffar, and merciful, Rauf. Uh, so anyways, Ghaffar, the meaning. Okay, I'm not going to go deep into this and look at the Arabic words of Surah 9 at 117, where he says Ghaffar for these uh, party whose hearts, although had well nigh swerved, party among them, hour of hardship. So Allah forgave them. The Mahajis and the Ansar who followed the Holy Prophet in the expedition of Tabuk, known as the hour of distress, have been referred to in this verse as those whom Allah has admitted to His mercy, Taba, not Allah turning to them in repentance. So can you imagine Allah uses this Taba word in different ways when He uses it against a person or, and for Himself? Ah, something. In addition to the excessive heat and a long journey, provisions and water were so scarce that two men had to share a date between them. Some wavered for a short time because of the anticipated hardships of the journey, long continued drought, and overpowering heat. But finally, and those who didn't join Prophet Muhammad, these Baduans again, and these people, Muslims, people of Medina, they were. So even in this ayat, like you're not supposed to swerve, right? Those who swerved, Allah turned to them also in repentance. Oh, Allah turned to them in Taba, mercy. Although the hearts of a party of them had well nigh swerved, Allah relented Taba towards them also. Surely to them He is most tender and most merciful. Raufan Rahim. So, Ghaffar is when another word used to forgive a sinner who is repentant. Anyways, who repents. So, this, then where are we? So, back to Surah 8, Ayat 39, and fight against them until there is no fitna again. It's like Surah 2, Ayat 193, right? And the religion, all of it is for Allah. Surah 2, Ayat 193 is repeated but in a short form, like a little shorter than Surah 2, Ayat 193, but the same message is given that fight until the disbelievers become Muslim believers. In this Ayat, Surah Anfal, Ayat 39, like in Surah 2, Ayat 193, and fight them until there is no fitna and the religion is for Allah. Yet, in case they refrain from becoming disbelievers, then there shall be no hostility except against the unjust. Right? So, Surah 8, Ayat 39 and Surah 2, Ayat 193, same this part. But this a little bit like all of it is for Allah. Fight them. So, Yazid, by taking the caliphate, stealing it, and his father giving it to him rather than saying, no, Imam Hussain, and before Imam Hussain, Imam Hassan, and before Imam Hassan, Imam Ali. They are the rightful owners of this caliphate and imamat and all this, appointed by Allah, made by Allah. Should have shouldn't have told his followers to leave him and observe the oaths. The religion is in trouble, the true religion. And moreover, he's saying against Yazid that this is not the true Islam, right? The way they are practicing Islam. But this, but even you are not practicing the true Islam, which is in the Quran ayats, and you cannot apply under these circumstances ayat Surah 9, ayat 43, and Surah 9, ayat 91, saying to them, I absolve you of obligations. You see, the best ones are who? Even believers are tested at times of war and all this. You are being tested, right? Surah Anfal. Also, see this. You are uh, Surah Anfal ayat 17. Allah tested you. This also. Believers. To know how you have fought in the war, and you did not kill them, but it was Allah who killed them. And you threw not when you threw, but it was Allah who threw, that He might test the believers with a good test. Indeed, Allah is hearing and knowing how you fought against these disbelievers. Good test. Let's see what the so they would appreciate Allah's favor to them. Like Allah gave you, yeah, Allah favored you so much and how you fought. So you were tested, a good test of Allah on you. He might test the believers with a good test. and that and the believers were employed for the task that He might cause the believers to successfully pass through this test, win in the battle of Badr and how they fought, because Allah slew them through them, and Allah threw the handful of dust through him, Prophet Muhammad. So believers are also tested like this to show you how Allah wins a battle through you, right? How you kill them and how you threw dust at them and how you overcame them in the battle. So now it is for these 72 followers and the family of Imam Hussain to show how they will fight here in Karbala, how Allah will help them, although they're 72 against thousands of Yazid's army. And you've got to save Islam and honor Rasulullah, Allah and Rasulullah. Exalt Surah Fatah, right? And you're supposed to prove, not by sacrificing, by being killed in that way, the way Imam Hussain was killed, and telling Hazrat Abbas, today I don't want you to sharpen your sword. You will be sent to plead for water for us, as they had stopped the water on the 7th of Muharram, right? The Yazid's army against Imam Hussein's children, women folk, and all this at Karbala, Naharwan, Furat. So, anyways, it's a bit difficult for me because, conditioning and my Shia thing comes. Sorry, excuse me. I have to keep that aside, keep a hard out. Because no, you see, Imam Hussein was wrong through, and that he might test the believers with a good test, like how they fought and all this. And how Allah gave. So read the ayats in Surah Anfal also, previous ones and all this. How Allah, I'm still on, yeah? And do turn his back to them on such a day. If any do turn his back to them on such a day, unless it be in stratagem of war or to retreat to a troop of his own, meaning he draws on himself the wrath of Allah, and his abode is hell, an evil refuge. Surah Anfal, ayat 16. Oh, you believe when you meet the unbelievers in hostile array, your Imam is in trouble. They are pursuing the Imam. Means the true religion will not, like Imam Hussain has to overcome Yazid's army and Yazid and get the what? does not give birth to Yazid. Shah Ast Hussain, Badshah Ast Hussain, Deen Ast Hussain, Deen Pana Ast Hussain, Sardad Nada Dastar Daste Yazid, Haqqai ke Binai La ilaha Ast Hussain. He did not give his hand in bet to Yazid. He's supposed to win in Karbala. He gave his head. No, no, no. This is not right. So since Deen Pana is Hussein, the protector of this religion is Hussein now in Karbala, he must win. Allah must help him with 1,000 and more angels, 10,000 angels to win. This is because they contended against Allah and His Messenger. If any contend against Allah and His Messenger, Allah is strict in punishment. That is yours, so taste it. And indeed, for the disbelievers, it's the punishment of fire. Oh, you have believed when you meet those who disbelieve, advancing towards you. So they're pursuing here, of course, in Karbala also, they're pursuing Imam Hussain, wanting to capture him. Do not and give birth to Yazid. Do not. So he says, I'm not going to give birth to Yazid, but I would rather die here a death of honor and not give birth, live as a slave to this Yazid, right? Who is a hypocrite, not the Yazid that the Muslims or some Sunnis believe in. Do not turn to them your backs in flight. You're supposed to protect and win this. Imam Hussain, you're not supposed to say, I'm okay, I can give my head like Maulana Chishti or the saint in India has written in Farsi this Shah or said, and it's written, recorded, Shah Ast Hussain, King is Hussain, Badshah, King, Master is Hussain, King is Hussain, Shah Ast Hussain, Badshah Ast Hussain, Deen Ast Hussain, religion is Hussain, religion's protector is Hussain, Deen Pana Ast Hussain, Sardad gave his head, but did not give his hand to Yazid, bet, meaning allegiance, paying allegiance to Yazid. So alone Hussein is saying, you go companions, followers, my even from the male, my family members, go away. I alone can win this by not giving my hand and not living as a slave to this tyrant, hypocrite, disbeliever Yazid as the Caliph of Islam and Muslims meaning. No, no, it's not supposed to be like this. And you did not kill them, but it was Allah who killed them. Surah Anfal ayat now. And you threw not when you threw, but it was Allah who threw, that He might test the believers with the good test. What does this mean? In fact, also read the Shia tafsir in multilingual Quran on this ayat. And it is so, and also that Allah will weaken the plot of the disbelievers. If you disbelievers seek the decision has come to you. And if you desist from hostilities, it is best for you. But if you return to war, we will return, and never will you be availed by your large company. Now, in Karbala, Yazid's company is very, very large. Hussein has only 72. But you're supposed to fight, not run away or be absolved by the Imam. No, permitted to leave. For verily Allah is with those who believe, even if they were multiplied in thousands. O you have believed, obey Allah and His Messenger, and do not turn from Him while you hear. And do not be like those who say, we heard, while they did not hear. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of Allah are the deaf, dumb, and who do not use reason comes here. And had Allah known any good? Okay. Enough of these ayats. Where else do we go to Surah Anfal again? Which ayat? Have I read all the ayats that are necessary for this live stream to prove that Imam Hussain should not have absolved his followers from the obligation they had towards him, and whoever turns his back to them on such a day, unless swerving for war or joining company, has certainly returned with anger from Allah, and his refuge is hell, and wretched is the destination. Surah 8, Ayat 16. Right? Or you believe when you meet the unbelievers in hostile array. So Yazid's army is going to give Imam Hussein a war. If even alone, they're going to capture him and take him to Yazid, Syria at that time, Damascus, Sham. And Yazid will say, "Give me bed," forcefully. Fight them until they pay the jizya under me. They are Yazid is thinking Imam Hussein is the hypocrite and all this. So here, look at this ayah. It's like, how shall I put it? So you believe when you meet the unbelievers in hostile array. Now the soldiers are standing there. Yazid soldiers are ready to fight. If Imam Hussein does not absolve his followers, they're all ready and they fought 72 with him in Karbala. Never turn your backs to them when unbelievers in hostile array, or let's do not turn your backs to them and fight a hostile force of unbelievers. Hostile fort, Yazid's army has come in Karbala, one after another, and Bibi Zainab is saying, well, then Imam. So Imam Hussein's friend came, old friend. What was his name? I forgotten. Been a long time. I haven't been going to Muharram majlises, right? How can Imam Hussein at that time tell his ninth of Muharram tell his followers to leave him? Believers, when you encounter a hostile force of unbelievers, do not turn your backs to them in flight. And whoever turns his back to them on such a day, unless swerving for war, like going back and forth, or strategy for war, or joining another company, like they have to turn their backs to join another company somewhere else, is like, or on a mountain top or hill, has certainly returned with anger from Allah, and his refuge is hell, and wretched is the destination. So now work out where Imam Hussain is going, and what has he asked his followers to, where to go, whither have they turned now? Whither are they turning? But they didn't turn. And it's crazy. I mean, it's madness. What is this? Why aren't you turning away, Imam Hussain? I found out, I worked it out online showing you that Imam Hussain should not have absolved them. The whole religion is at stake. So believers with a good test he might test even the believers with a good test, Allah says here in Surah Anfal 17, and this all I read. And this is so, and also that Allah will weaken the plot of the disbelievers. Read all this. You think so who won according to these ayats? Yazid won the allegiance. Yazid won about Islam, that this Islam is true, not Imam Hussein's Islam. And in these ayats we see, but I don't take. So it was all a mess up, really, by Prophet Muhammad, and introducing this Abrahamic monotheistic religion of Abraham also. Mess they've made. Prophet Muhammad started it, and it goes on with all with the family of Prophet Muhammad being imams and saying, we know the true Islam. And this Yazid, he doesn't, but Yazid won. According to these ayats, we're not supposed to turn back. What else is there? Surah 9 would you not fight against the people who broke their oaths? Surah 9 13. And determined to expel the messenger, and they had begun you the first time. Do you fear them? They did not. I saw about before Jang Badr, I showed you the caravan robbing and all this attacking by Prophet Muhammad and his believers. Do you fear them? But Allah has more right that you should fear Him if you are believers. Believers should fear Allah. So attack, fight them. Allah will punish them by your hands and will disgrace them and give you victory over them and satisfy the breasts of a believing people. Imam Hussain is supposed to win a physical war also, not just like a spiritual war, sacrificing. Oh my goodness, you cannot see this? Quran ayats are proving this, that Imam Hussain is, even if the Yazid's army is 30,000 people, 30,000 soldiers, 72 should win. Fight them. Allah will punish them by your hands and will disgrace them and give you victory over them and satisfy the breast physically, spiritually. Violated their oaths, plotted to expel the messenger. Here it says, not kill the messenger, but now Imam Hussain will be captured. Fight them. Fight them. Surah Tawbah at 14. Fight them. Allah will give you victory and satisfy the breasts of the believers and remove the fury, anger, rage in the believers' hearts. And Allah turns in forgiveness to whom He wills. Do you think that you will be left while Allah has not yet made evident those among you strive and do not take other than Allah, His Messenger, and the believers as intimates? You're not even supposed to take Yazid according to Imam Hussein's belief, right? About his religion, Nana's religion, grandfather, his messenger, Allah's messenger, Prophet Muhammad. You're not supposed to do what? Take Yazid as the caliph. Caliph. Also, they have to fight, physical fight. Leave us as intimates, and Allah is aware of what you do. So make evident those among you strive, whether they are 10,000 to 30,000. Believers have to strive against them. No, and he's telling Aqil's sons. Muslim ibn Aqil has been killed in Kufa by Yazid, Ibn Ziyad, and his followers. Ibn Ziyad is made the minister or what? Chief minister of, Kufa by Yazid now. Kufans were calling Imam Hussain and all this, and so when Muslim Ibn Aqil was sent by Imam Hussain, all this, so I don't want to give, he was killed by Ibn Ziyad in Kufa and his soldiers, Ibn Ziyad's soldiers. So Imam Hussain is telling Aqil's sons, you've suffered enough martyrdom, you've given enough, now you leave. Don't take Surah 9 ayat 43, don't take Surah 9 ayat 91 on that. Take these ayats on that. So what is Yazid showing us is true. And so my case was for Yazid, even before this. All these, taking these ayats and showing you, are just, Imam Hussain is wrong. Their deeds have become worthless, and in the fire they will. What's this? Polytheists to maintain the mosque of Allah, witnessing against themselves. It is not for the polytheists to maintain the mosque of Allah, witnessing against themselves with disbelief. So, the mosque, moreover, not that they have expelled you and all this, but it is not even for the polytheists to maintain the mosques of Allah. Now they are disbelievers. The mosque of Allah only to be maintained by those who believe in Allah and the last day and establish prayer and give zakah and do not fear except Allah. For it is expected that those will be the rightly guided. What else? Have you made the providing of water for the pilgrim? We come here also. So this, the ones who have believed, emigrated, and striven. Remember, those who did not emigrate with Prophet Muhammad and the believers, when he emigrated, are supposed to be killed, but then it changes to there is an exception. In Surah Nisa ayat 90, 89, 90, 91, or what? See? So the ones who have believed, emigrated, and striven in the cause of Allah with their wealth and their lives are greater in rank in the sight of Allah. Imam Hussain, what are you doing? You're making them go lower in rank with those lower believers by saying, I absolve you. You go. You're supposed to fight jihad also, struggle. Jah- Jahadu. Jahadu. Strove. Emigrated. Wahajaru, those who believed and emigrated strove in the way of Allah, Sabi, with their wealth and their lives are greater in rank, darajat, near Allah. And those, they are the successful. So you have them, Imam Hussain, you're telling how sincere, you're telling us how sincere and fight to save the religion. And don't allow them to capture you and ask from you the bait to Yazid. The Lord gives them good tidings of mercy, and all this is not. Do not even love your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wives, your relatives, your wealth, commerce that you fear decline in, dwellings, houses which you are pleased with. More? Not more. If they are beloved to you, then Allah. Not more, Sahih International. See, Maududi puts it well, without the more. So don't love your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wives, and all this, even family members, uh, like, or that you love, if they are dearer to you than Allah and His Messenger, and striving in His cause. So Muslim ibn sorry again. Oh, they've suffered a lot. Imam Hussain is telling them, oh sons of Akil, you have suffered a lot. You have just lost Muslim ibn Akil in Kufa. He's been martyred. Ah, you go. No, 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 no. No father, no son, no brother, no wife, no tribe, no one, right? You may lose 10 all sons. A mother may lose all her 7 sons if she has 7 sons. Should ask them all to go if they are believers and fight for this. See, you cannot prefer your lives and love these uh, uh, if they are dear to you. They should not be dearer to you than Allah and His Messenger. How is Maududi? Let me see. How has Yusuf Ali put it? Say, if it be that your fathers, your sons, your brothers, and your mates, or your kindred, you are dearer to you than Allah or His Messenger, or striving also in in His cause, then wait until Allah brings about His decision. And Allah guides not the rebellious. So I skipped some because right now, for Imam Hussain, what is important? You have sacrificed a lot. Who does he address to? Imam Hussain then said, ninth of Muharram, O sons of Akil, your family has sacrificed much. With the martyrdom of Hazrat Muslim only, Muslim ibn Akil only, the son of Akil, I grant you permission to go. They replied, are they crazy to reply like this? What has happened to them? Are they drugged? Sorry, excuse me. I mean, I don't know what they didn't know. What I worked out the Quran is. So I wish I was there to stop them. Please come, go back. They replied, what would the people say? See, what would the people say about us? It's not religion, Islam. What would the people say? He feared the people. What the Shia tafsir is on that, Surah 33 at 37. No, no. Allah is just telling him, Allah is telling those people that he should not fear you, those polytheists who practice this way of adoption and don't marry their adopted wives, even divorcees, right? He feared, you feared the people, whereas Allah has more right that you fear him. Surah 33 at 37. Why would they say, Akil's sons, that what would the people say about us if we were? Bring the religious point. They would say that we had abandoned our Imam, our master. What would the people say? No, what would Allah say about this? Huh. Our cousin and the best of uncles? Oh, no. Relationship is coming. No, no, you cannot prefer your, yeah, you are. So when the polytheists, but disbelievers can't, or even the believers can't prefer their uncles, best of uncles, he's supposed to go to war to save Islam, right? When they have given, or to fight the disbelievers. And bottom line is to fight the disbelievers until religion becomes Allah's, until they cease from becoming disbelievers. That is the bottom line, to fight the disbelievers. Imam Hussain is covering all these things up, and they, with Imam Hussain, are covering all that up. Surah 2, Ayat 193. I'm still here, thank God. Bottom line, also don't forget the bottom line, meaning the ayat. Surah 2, Ayat 193. So all these poor people, either Imam Hussain should know, and he's not poor, he's not innocent. But look what he's made out of his family members. So they've killed. You see, they're going to die on the 10th of Muharram with all this emotional stuff going on. Best of uncles. How can we leave you, best of uncles? Imam, our master, our cousin, and the best of uncles. Maybe Yazid is thinking, oh, my best of uncle who died in Badr. Huh? Hunain, Uhud, okay. And the other. Oh, my best of forefathers. All of you. Oh, but father Abu Sufyan, grandfather Muawiyah, they lived on, but their Abu Sufyan's father or uncle Abu Jahal, Abu Lahab. For Abu Lahab is such a Surah Lahab ayat. May his two hands burn, and this, his wife also, be like, strangled. All this. So, you see, not right, right? You got it this time, and then you decide, but I've already decided. How many contradictions, how many problems in Quran ayats? I've already decided. Now I'm helping you to decide online, and there would be a little research online. That's why I've put online research. Shias, Boris, this is one of a kind, right? I've already decided. Imam Hussain has misled them, and now they're not even going into war, of course, like those Sahabas, like if they were going towards their death. Surah Al-Falaq, we took you out of your home and all this, and then the believers were arguing with Prophet Muhammad about that, fighting, starting a fight with the polytheists or not. So they were dragged into war as if they were going into for their death, inviting their death. I grant you, don't cry over Imam Hussain. He's not innocent. Muslim ibn Asajah stood and said, now these are the responses of the companions. How is it possible that we leave you? And then before Allah say that we have fulfilled your rights. Now the companions are coming to the point, not the hardly the family of Imam Hussain. See how he's so they killed their children without right. Polytheists were, remember in the Quran ayat, Allah blame the polities for killing their children without right, their loved ones, and all this also, you can say, and their friends. No, no, he's inviting you to life, whereas he's inviting you to death also, to die and fight, fight, fight until Islam wins, until there are only believers and no disbelievers. Right? Surah 2, Ayat 193 and Surah Anfal ayat. So don't get in this forest lost in the Quran ayats are going to Surah um, which 9 ayat 43. These are good ones. Imam Hussain can give them permission to leave. And Surah 9 ayat 91. If it ever comes in your majlis, it's like that. Don't go for that. That's just to confuse you. Ambiguity. See these ayats. Bottom line is fight the disbelievers until there are no disbelievers and believers remain, or they become believers. They have to fight. And now the response of the Sahabas, of Ashabs of Imam Hussain, is more close to the religion points, right? How is it possible that we leave you and then before Allah say that we have fulfilled your rights? So you're telling us to unfulfill the rights of Allah, Imam Hussain. By Allah, now what happens to him? By Allah, not, and now he becomes emotional, bringing emotions in rather than religion. And friendship. By Allah, not only I have thrust my spear into their hearts and wielded my sword, not until I have thrust my spear into their hearts and wielded my sword, until only its hilt shall remain in my hand. I will not leave you. If I have no weapon with which to fight, you are poor. Still, he says, I shall throw stones at them to secure your safety. This is what religion says. Imam safety, securing Imam safety until my death. Now this poor Asajah is gone, and we say, Assalamu alaikum, Muslim ibn Asajah, martyred. Leave Imam Hussain, for God's sakes, Muslim ibn Asajah. You came so close to the religious point of fulfilling the rights there that Allah has upon them. Before Allah say that we have fulfilled your rights. How is it possible that we leave you? How shall I put it? And then before Allah say that we have fulfilled your rights, Allah, we have fulfilled your rights. And then he's becoming emotional and saying, no, no, until we secure your safety, death. What? You don't realize Imam Hussain has contradicted Quran ayats, for God said, I could see it. And it's under your nose here. How is it possible that Muslim ibn al-Sajjah? So this is the friend of Muslim ibn al-Sajjah, Imam Hussain. Sayyid ibn Abdullah Hanafi said, by Allah, we will never leave you until Allah knows. Now you're coming to the religious point, the ayat also, Surah Fatah ayat 9, that we protected the honor of Rasulullah. But then again he steps down, by Allah, if I knew that I will be killed and brought back to life, then burdened alive, and my ashes scattered, I would not abandon you. This is the duty, not to abandon your Imam, Shias. So, but why has Imam Hussain, even if this process, this is an Islamic duty, not to abandon the Imam of the time. So abandon you, even if this process were repeated 70 times. How then could I not sacrifice myself for you? Your safety? This is the religion, right of Allah, that uh, for the safety of Imam, You are supposed to give your life, sacrifice everything. When I know that there is only one death with honor, which can never be thrown aside. Oh God. Die in honor. Saving your Imam. So he has to say, all of them have to say, we're going before you, Imam Hussain now. They're teaching Imam Hussain the religion, but in a way, oh God, the true religion which is in the Quran ayats, true interpretations that you didn't see through, seeping through the Quran ayats. Now Zuhair also Sahaba of uh, companion of Imam Hussain. Zuhair ibn Khan said, by Allah, I would love that I be killed. I would love that I be killed. Then revived, then killed 1,000 times. In this manner, if it keeps you with the young ones from your family. Oh, no religious point, for God's sakes. What is this? No Quran ayats. And Imam Hussain is also quiet, not giving them the answer. Okay, you can apply Surah, like I'm telling you, helping Imam Hussain. You can apply Surah 9, ayat 43. You can apply Surah 9, ayat 91 in such a way. The good ones, leave them. Permit them, Imam Hussain. But the other eyes. And so you see why Imam Hussain is quiet here and why Yazid's army was not moved. When he appealed to them, I'm the son, I'm the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, I'm the one true upholder of Islam, I'm the true leader appointed by Allah. Have you not seen me? My mother is Fatima. Have you not seen me with my mother, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad? There's Yazid's army unmoved. Now you see why? And here Imam Hussain is quiet. No, no, what are you people saying? And what did I say? Oh, so, and the other, so here, the other companion, no, no, keeps you with your young ones from your family. Keeps you with the young ones. No, no, when Islam is in trouble, forget who is the waris of the young ones. My father could be waris of ours. We were young, but he has to go to the majlises, even if he's killed, shot dead or bomb blast. You are the waris of the young ones of your family, or you are the waris of the waris Rasulullah, waris Nu Allah, waris Kalim Allah, Musa, sorry, Ibrahim, Kalim Allah, Ziyarat Warisa. You are the waris of this religion, the prophets and all, the true monotheistic religion, Abrahamic religion, Imam Hussain. You, not because your young ones from your family keeps you with the young ones of your family. Oh my goodness, Zuhair ibn Khan, what are you saying? Ziyarat warsa. Also, hmm? the other, he's the waris of Islam. Imam Hussain is the waris of Islam. The other companions of it, what does waris mean? I can't now translate it in English, sorry, the word. The other companions of Imam Hussain all spoke in similar fashion, saying, by Allah, oath taking, we will not leave you. It is better our life and all our being is offered for your protection. Right? Warisinu Allah. Why? Why this? For his protection. It is compulsory to protect him. If we are killed, we will have faithfully carried out our oaths. Oh, here I should have. If we are killed, then we would have faithfully carried out our oaths. So what does that mean? Surah Fatah 10, what does that oath contain? You have to also read Surah Fatah 9 with Surah Fatah 10 to honor, help every waris of Islam, the true waris of Islam, inheritor of Islam. protector. And they have to, the believers have to help him, the one appointed to be the inheritor, true inheritor of Islam. Oh, what's going on in Karbala? It's been 1400 years and you Shias have not figured this out. Imam Hussain is the hypocrite. And Yazid is not also. But Yazid, since he, whatever happened now, what shall I say? Now Yazid, whatever disturbance, total uh, polities. Now they've, okay, what is left is left. They're doing with that. They're doing their best and they're showing you that there was no true Islam. True Islam is fight, fight, fight until disbelievers become believers. And this, all the other rest of the ayats are just nonsense. And so sad about what I wrote when I was a Shia in 1989, January, February, March, April. Imam Hussain, with his grand sacrifice, Zibbe Azim, has proved to the world how true Islam is, and only he can do it. And he's complete. Without Imam Hussain, my religion is incomplete. But what did I find later made me an ex-Muslim, and meaning an ex-Shia. And I can't even be with Yazid as the Sunnis would be with him, some of them, Muslims, or Mawiya, or Abu Sufyan. But I got it. It's all messed up. And now they have to act like this. Once you disturb, people can go into self-destruction. Others, see, the problem is the founder of this religion was a false prophet and also his all. Okay, if Jesus Christ was a false Messiah, at least his disciples, okay, carried on, but, not his family members. He didn't have a son or brother James. Okay, his brother James, like the Ismailis, I even thought that his brother James has more right to uphold this true and say that he's the true Messiah, Christianity, and also bring Christianity, but not Paul. I wouldn't go with the Christians who go in with the Bible, New Testament, Paul. James should have been his successor. So I was a Shia, and when I read about Paul, what is this? Then until the Ismaili, when I read, oh yes, James. I didn't know about this. James, the brother of Jesus. Anyways, all this, you see, a mess. Okay, Christians have disciples, Jesus' disciples carrying on, and then now the Christians. But this is Prophet Muhammad's all you see here carrying on this. So the Shias, their followers also, carrying on this false religion. And now how it has been turned. Karbala, even the Hindus, Gandhi saying, if I had 72 like Imam Hussain had, I would win freedom for India when at the time of colonialization of India, I would have won freedom for India in 48 hours, like that. 2 days. You see what and how they've turned around. Everyone praising Hussein, even Christians praising Gibbon, and what's his name, Charles Dickens, many other like George Jordak writing a book on Imam Ali, human voice of human justice, or what is that? You are all, what are you? What's happened to you? No one showed you the Quran ayats like this, or you didn't do your own research. And if the Shias do their own research and have found out this, oh my God, then they must have silently left. And I'm that voice for them who silently left Shia Islam too and Islam altogether. When they couldn't show you like this, they were more intelligent than I was. They had more eloquence than me, but they couldn't show you the way I'm showing you. Online research. Even Sunnis come and see, please. So that if you leave, when the Christians and all that are showing more on Quran errors also and the Hadith, maybe you want to go to the Ismaili Shia. Join them. Or maybe you want to go to Shia 12er. So I have to save you. And Brahman Hussainis in India also have to save them. At least show you this. This is my duty. I show you. Now it's for you. I would love to save you from this false religion, not to even follow Shia Islam. Brahman Hussainis also. And some of the Indians who are not Brahmin Hussainis, but Ganga or Jamna in praise of Imam Hussain, like Jai Singh, tribute to Imam Hussain. जय सिंह गंगा और जमुना टपकती हैं हुसैन के हुसैन tribute to Imam Hussain poetry. Jai Singh. Hindu poet Jai Singh gave his gratitude to Imam Hussain in such a manner. है आज भी. So I can't go to Facebook right now. You see? A tribute to Imam Hussain by poet Jai Singh, eulogizing the role played by Imam Hussain in Karbala. Hindu poets have been in the forefront in offering tributes to martyrs of Karbala and eulogizing the role played by Imam Hussain. And you have left Shia Islam, they must be shocked. So I'm telling you how I left and why. See what I found in Quran ayats, even Imam Hussain. Bottom line, get this right. Surah 2, ayat 193. Don't get lost in the forest of the Quran ayats, errors, omissions, changing of words, and all that. I can't do right now. So in short, now how many hours? 1 hour 22 minutes. Okay. So bottom line is, and fight them until there is no temptation. Fitna also. What is Yazid? What is Yazid doing by staying as? Oh, so Imam Hussain had to be sacrificed to show that I was the true Imam, and Yazid is a false caliph. He's not even upholding the true religion of my grandfather, Prophet Muhammad, by sacrificing his life. And that I will not give allegiance to Yazid as a caliph of Islam and for Muslims. But I will show it in this way that Islam is true. But look at the blunders he's done, and I've caught him. So fight them until there is no temptation, fitna, and the religion is for Allah. And Imam Hussain should not absolve. Yet, in case they refrain, even the same thing repeated in Surah 8, ayat 39, and fight against them until there is no fitna also. Remember this. And by just being a disbeliever, your Surah 2, ayat 193 means that they are doing fitna. They are tempting. They could be tempting you. There's a fear. It is this thing of, this thing opening for temptation to become disbelievers. They could invite you, or they're just being disbelievers, whatever is the problem. What is that word that is not coming to me? Just by being disbelievers, they're causing fitna. And the religion is for Allah. Fight them. That's why. Yet, in case they refrain, cease from becoming disbelievers, meaning, then there shall be no hostility except against the unjust. So, this. Thank you so much. I must leave now, right? Have you got this? Have you got this? So please don't get into, but I showed you. You can get into these ayats and now help from here. Not that I don't claim that I don't know who's helping you through me and who's helping me to see the truth against my religion, Shia Islam. So in 9 ayat 43, until it was evident to you who were the truthful and you knew the liars, then you can give them permission. Why did you give them permission? So then give them permission when it becomes, no, not in this circumstance, not in the circumstance of Karbala, Imam Hussain, using this, if he's going to use this, even though he's not even uh, given this ayat. Don't you know that Allah said in Surah 9, ayat 43, like Bibi Zainab would give and has given Yazid in the darbar of Yazid, and even before that, Ibn Ziyad. through Quran ayats, right? Didn't Allah say this in this Quran ayat against you people? You are the hypocrites. You are the disbelievers. Surah 9, ayat 91 also. Don't take this part and make it mean that the good ones, no blame on the good ones if you give them permission to leave and not to protect Islam when Islam is in trouble and rights have been snatched by hypocrites and they are ruling. No, no, you can't use these Surah 9, ayat 43 and Surah 9, ayat 91 against those who do good. No blame on them. No complaint against them. They can be exempt from war or even jihad, struggle in the way of Allah. No, no, no. See, Allah has made these are contradictory ayats to all those ayats. Surah 9 ayat 120 also, and Surah 9 ayat 117, Surah 8 ayat 39, Surah 2 ayat 193, and many more like that. When you look at them, and I can't go through them in Surah Anfal, Surah Tawbah ayats, right? And Surah 48 ayat 10, swear allegiance to you. Surah Fat ayat 9 and 10, right? Honor him. Surah, the Baduan said, please forgive us. Our property and our families kept us. But here, the Shias would apply that they were liars, and that's why they were not forgiven. Otherwise, if a believer says, oh, Prophet Muhammad, please forgive me, I'm not participating, I don't want to participate or help you. Our property, I'm busy with my property and my family. Good believer, would he be uh, exempted? Would he be exempted from jihad even or fight? And the jihad's still there in Karbala. If you're saying Imam Hussain didn't want to fight them, but the jihad struggled to save the religion, the true religion, and see to it that Imam Hussein's safety, Imam Hussain is safe and protected. They don't capture him. See to that also. So many ayats. Look, I'm talking from the ayats, Quran ayats. I'm not getting emotional. Like I do get emotional, passionate, but still I'm talking through the Quran ayats, explaining like the gist of the Quran ayats meaning and all this. True meaning. So no, 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 you cannot do this. That Imam Hussain gathered on the 9th of Muharram, events of the eve of Ashura. Imam Ali, his son, reports when after Imam Hussain becomes the Imam, narrates that Imam Hussain gathered his followers after Umar bin Saad returned to his camp. Imam Hussain said the following: all praises and glory be to Allah the Most High. I believe tomorrow will be a last day in this world. I absolve you of any obligation to me, meaning absolve of the oath. You are free to leave. That's why. You are free to leave. That's why it's, again, please, all the companions, if we are killed, we will have faithfully carried out our oaths. How can you absolve the obligations then, Imam Hussain? And you're saying this to Imam Hussain is under your noses that Imam Hussain is a false prophet, a false Imam. And this religion is false then. And I've proven Prophet Muhammad to be a false prophet from Surah Tahrimah especially. Then the rest of the Quran has this. Thank you so much for your time and attention. There's some work starting and it's a bit louder than I think. So I have to leave you now. 1 hour, 29 minutes. Thank you. Okay, some work. It's it's loud. So I leave you. Thank you for your time and attention.
We'll be back. Until then, thank you so much.